Welcome back to the Purple Tulip Workshop, where you learn your stitches and stitch to create with love. I'm your host Shipra, and I'll be taking you through a series of videos on different types of stitches and projects. So if you're excited and ready to learn, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notifications so you never miss when I post a new video. So for today's project, I'm going to be using some soft knitting cotton yarn. This is the same yarn as the DK lightweight worsted yarn. So I'm going to be using that as the main project. I'm going to be using some embroidery threads. This one is a maroon shade for the nose. Then I'm going to be using a black and a white thread for the eyes. We will be requiring a darning needle, a locking pin, a cutting scissors, and I'm going to be using a hook size of 4 mm, which is the same as a size G6 in the US, and I'll be using that with the soft knitting cotton yarn. And then we'll be requiring a thread hook of 1.5 mm, which is the same as size 8 in the US, and I'll be using that with the embroidery threads. And then we will be also requiring some Fiberfill for stuffing. So let's get started with today's project. So we're going to start by making our magic ring. And into the magic ring, we are going to be putting in 6 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to pull onto this string to close up that loop, and we can place in our marker into this last stitch. And now I'm going to just join that round, and into that first stitch of that round we are going to be doing 2 single crochets in that same stitch, so that is known as an increase. And we're going to repeat this increase all the way around on all of the remaining 5 stitches. For the next round, which is round 3, we will be doing 1 single crochet in the first stitch, then an increase into the second stitch. So that's 2 single crochets in that same stitch, and then again a single crochet, an increase into the next stitch. And we're going to repeat this all the way around until the last stitch. So I'm on my last stitch now, which is going to be an increase. I'm going to place in my marker back in. And now for the next round, I'm going to do single crochet in the first stitch, an increase in the next stitch, and then I'm going to do 2 single crochets, and then an increase. Then I'm going to repeat the sequence of 2 single crochet increase right up till here, which is the second last stitch. And then into my last stitch, I'll be putting in a single crochet. Placing our marker back in. So now we're going to do single crochets all the way around. That's 24 single crochets. I'm going to repeat that for the next 6 rounds. So I'm back and I've completed the 6 rounds of single crochets. Now moving on to round 11. Into the first stitch we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to decrease the next 2 stitches. So we're going to put our hook into the front loops only and decrease. Now into the next 2 stitches we're going to be doing single crochets in each stitch, and then we're going to decrease the next 2 stitches like this. This is an invisible decrease, and we're going to repeat this sequence nearly till the last decrease that we have of this round, and I'll meet you in a bit. Now I'm on my last decrease of this round, and we're going to be doing a single crochet into our last stitch, and we place our marker back in. Now for round 12 we're going to be doing a single crochet all the way through till the end, and we're back into our last stitch, so that's a single crochet, and place our marker back in. Now for round 13 we're going to be doing a single crochet into the first stitch, and then we're going to decrease the next 2 stitches, single crochet into the next stitch and decrease the next 2 stitches, and we're going to repeat this sequence all the way till the end. Now on my last decrease of this round, so we're going to just put our hook into the front loops of the last 2 stitches like this, and do our invisible decrease like this, and I'm going to place my marker into the loop itself, and we're going to stuff the body with some Fiberfill now. After stuffing the body, we're going to be doing a round of single crochets. So round 14 will be just doing a single crochet in each stitch all the way till the end. For round 15 we're going to be decreasing in all the stitches, so that's going to be making 2 stitches into 1 stitch all the way through till the end. Now we're going to leave a yarn tail, and we're going to pull this yarn through, get hold of our darning needle, and we're going to weave in the remaining 6 stitches like this. And once we've woven these stitches, we are going to be pulling onto this yarn tail to close up this gap like this. Be moving on to making the feet for the bunny. So we're going to start up by making our magic ring, and into the magic ring we're going to be putting in our 6 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. We're going to pull onto this tail, and now I'm going to place in a marker into our last stitch, And moving on to round 2, we're going to be increasing in each stitch. So that's 2 single crochets into each stitch. So that's 1 and then that's 2. We're going to repeat that all the way around till the end. For the next round, we're going to be doing single crochets all the way through into each of the 12 stitches, and we're going to repeat that for the next 3 rounds. So I've completed the 3 rounds. Now we're going to be decreasing in this round. So this is round 6. And we're going to be decreasing the stitches. Now I'm going to place my locking pin into the loop, and we're going to stuff the feet with some Fiberfill like this. For the next round, we're going to fold the feet flat like this, and we're going to be joining the top edge with single crochets like this. Now we're going to do chain 1 and turn our work, and we're going to do single crochets all the way through till the end like this. And now we're going to be doing chain 1 to lock this last stitch and pull onto the yarn a little bit and snip it up and pull this yarn tail through, and there we go. We have our feet ready. Now moving on, we're going to be making the ears for the bunny, and we're going to start it up by making our magic ring. And into this magic ring, I'm going to be putting in 6 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to pull onto this tail and place in our marker into the last stitch. And now moving on to the second round, we're going to be increasing all of the 6 stitches like this. Once you've completed round 2, just pull onto this tail to close up that center loop. And now we're going to move on to the third round, which is doing a single crochet into the first stitch, and then we're going to increase into the second stitch, and then we're going to just repeat that same sequence, single crochet, increase all the way through till the end. So we're going to be doing single crochets all the way through till the end, and we're going to repeat that for the next 3 rounds. I've completed the 3 rounds of single crochet, and into the first stitch of round 7 we're going to do a single crochet. Then we're going to be decreasing the next 2 stitches with an invisible decrease like this, and then we're going to be doing single crochet into the next stitch and then a decrease, and we're going to repeat this sequence all the way through till the end. Now for the next 3 rounds we're going to be doing single crochets all the way through till the end. So I've completed the 3 rounds of single crochet, and now we're going to be doing a decrease round. So round 11 would be decreasing all the stitches. Now for round 12 we're going to be doing single crochet in each of the 6 stitches. Now we're going to fold the ear into half, and we're going to join the top part with 3 single crochets. So that's 2 and that's 3, and we're going to do chain 1 to lock this last stitch, pull onto the yarn a little bit, snip the yarn tail and pull the yarn through. So there we go, we have the bunny ears also ready. For the eyes, I've already done a YouTube tutorial earlier, so these are the eyes that I'll be using, and you can refer to the tutorial from the link above. Now we're going to move on to the assembly of the bunny. So we're going to attach the feet at the bottom of the body. So we're going to be placing in our feet between round 1 and 3 like this. So I've just placed in the markers. That's round 1 and 3. And we're going to be sewing on the feet with the tail yarns that we have of the feet. So let's get hold of my darning needle now, and we're going to just sew them in like this. So now we're going to move on to attaching the ears of the bunny to the body, and we're going to be attaching them on the left hand side of the body like this. And I've placed in the markers for the bunny between round 12 and 15. So that's 12 and 15 like this. And we're going to use the tail ends again to sew them on. So we're going to get hold of a darning needle, and I'm going to sew on the ears like this. Now we're going to place in the markers in for the eyes, and we're going to be using the center line like this, and between around 10 and 11 we're going to be placing in our markers with an interspace of 2 stitches between the 2 eyes. Now we're going to create the dent for the eyes, and for that we're going to attach a new yarn onto the body like this. Pull in the excess tail into the body. Now to create the dent we're going to put in a few stitches like this. Once the dents are ready, place on the eyes onto the dents like this. And we're now going to sew on these eyes onto the body. I'm going to get hold of my darning needle and we're going to start sewing on the eyes. I'm going to move on to making the bow for the bunny by using the embroidery thread, and I'm using a hook size of 2 mm, which is the same as size 4 thread hook in the US. And now I'm using a technique of turning a thin thread into a thick thread, and I've got the link mentioned above. You can refer to the earlier tutorial. So we're going to make a slip knot, and now I'm going to be making a foundation chain of 10. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to be working into the 3rd chain from the hook, and I'm going to have the yarn over my hook, insert the hook into the 3rd chain, and we're going to pull the yarn all the way through. So that's our first half double crochet. And now we're going to be making the next half double crochet into the next stitch. And we're going to do that all the way through till the end. Now for row 2 we're going to do chain 2, and we're going to turn our work around, and we're going to be working into the 2nd stitch, and we're going to be doing a half double crochet into the 2nd stitch, and we're going to be working into the back loops. So that's a half double crochet into the back loop, and we're going to work that till the end of this row. Now repeat row 2 for the next 6 rows. So for row 3 till 8 we're going to do the same as we did for row 2. Now I'm on my last stitch, and we're going to just do a chain 1 to lock that stitch. And we've done 8 rows, and we're going to pull onto this tail end through the loop like this, and we're going to weave in these tail ends into the existing stitches. So here we are, I've woven in the tail ends, and we're going to just snip up the tail extra ends like this. Now we're going to move on to creating the bow. We're going to get hold of the thread again, fold it in like this, and wrap the thread around the center of the bow a few times, and then we're going to just place in locking loops like this. Just add a few locking loops like this, and now we can just reshape the bow, cut up the tail end, and we can just weave this in to the existing loop that we've just created for the bow and hide it in. Now that our bow is ready, we're going to be sewing this onto the bunny ears. Place it in like this, get hold of the thread in our darning needle, and let's stitch this bow onto the bunny now. Now we're going to place in the marker for the nose from the center line, and we're going to place it on row 8, just over here. I'm going to get hold of our maroon thread, embroidery thread in our darning needle, and we're going to make the stitches for the nose now. There we go, our cute little Easter bunny egg is ready. So if you like this video, then do give it a thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel from the link below and click on to the bell icon for the latest updates. Take care for now and stay safe. Bye bye.